Alex Dermott again from Australia.
Hi, Alex.
Good day.
Asks,
Good day.
what is the most disturbing film both of you have ever seen? And in a somewhat related question, Mark Vesey from Lincolnshire.
Oh, I love Mark Vesey.
By the way, he wrote a script for a short film called English Mary 3D.
I'm so happy. He's already... It's a good ripoff. I'm glad he got it before the studios grabbed it.
He said, focusing specifically on film and excluding stuff like animal violence, have either of you ever seen something you couldn't handle? Perhaps even had to look away? Too violent, shocking, upsetting, etc.
I hated Men Behind the Sun for the animal cruelty, but without the animal cruelty, the cadavers, what they did to those dead human bodies, that was too much for me. I feel that people have always been fascinated by death, and we've surpassed actually having to kill people like in gladiator times. We can make prosthetics, we can make such realistic replicas, nobody has to get hurt, and the reason why we are doing this, it should have some sort of philosophy, some sort of commentary, not just for the shock jock so you can jerk off to something horrible like that.
I agree. Men Behind the Sun, I heard about the cadavers, and that's why I saw it. I didn't know about the rats and the cat thing. I think if you actually hurt an animal, and I probably piss off Cannibal Holocaust fans, it's a sign of a poor filmmaker, because I'm good friends with Todd Masters, and I'm hanging out at Masters Effects until they kick me out, and I know for a fucking fact they could make exactly that effect but not actually hurt an animal. As far as films go that actually, we have to look away from, it doesn't exist, because I'm the person watching a Serbian film being like, I don't know if the baby is really making the right sounds.
She did that. I was enjoying that film, and the whole time she's like, "Oh, how big is his penis? I don't believe that it's actually inside that puppet."
I know there's, and I'm like that watching any horrific thing. Like when I was watching Inside.
Yeah.
When we were watching Inside, that is just a fucking gore fest, and there is moments that we were like, she probably would have been able to recognize her mother's voice, because I can hear my mother clear her throat, and I know that's my mother. So that was one thing. And I was watching the prosthetics so much to be like, is that what it looks like? I mean, I don't know. I've never set someone's face on fire yet.
Weirdly, when I saw Martyrs, it stayed with me for 2 weeks after. I didn't look away, but it was just like such a hardcore gore fest. But the gore had a reason. Like that last scene. And if you haven't seen it, oh my God, you should see it. I forced it on my parents. I loved it so much, and I think I upset them, but I love that kind of thing so much.
Yeah, I love Martyrs. Like, if you want to see a really amazing, gory film that has gore with intention, I love it. But I never look away from it. I look at them like, wow, those prosthetics are amazing.
Yeah, I look away during the bottom of Act 2, when everything goes shitty for the character and you see all their plans and lies break, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't want to be, it's like people fighting at a dinner table. You're like, I just feel awkward being here. I don't like this.
I've looked away while watching Sex in the City.
You
I
would.
have. I'm like, oh, look, and your boyfriend's going to buy you an apartment and clothes, and the ring wasn't the right one. Oh, my God. Barf. God, that's shit.
Well, interestingly, in American Mary, you do pull back significantly from the visceral gore fest element of the film. It doesn't go into the obvious torture porn places. So can you talk about that sense of restraint and why you employed it?
It was a conscious decision, because when we were trying to sell this movie, everybody kept saying the word ugly and saying nobody wants to see a movie about body modification. No one's going to be able to watch it. Nobody wants to be forced to see something like that. And I thought, wouldn't that be interesting if we focused on making this one of the most beautiful movies you've ever seen? Yes, it has content, but it's very restrained. It's very meticulous, almost like the character itself and the story itself. I liked that. There was times where people were like, well, if you're chopping off an arm, let's have blood spray everywhere. I was like, we're going to such fantastical lengths anyways. Maybe we should keep one foot in reality so we don't lose the audience entirely. Although there are two things that are fake. The arm surgery, where you exchange an arm, that's only starting to happen in Europe, and you need about 40 doctors to do that. And I was like, that's going to be a really busy set. She's just going to get an extra doctor for that. Spoiler alert, there's an arm surgery. And then there's the lady with the heart-shaped nipple nipples. That's actually a tattoo. That's not actually a body modification, but I thought it looked so fucking cool. Like, that was the one that I was like, if I do something, I'd want to do something like that, and I had to put it in there.
Yeah, we didn't want excessive gore to feed into the negative connotation already associated with the body mod community. We didn't want people to think body mod and ew gross, because that's not the way we see it, and it's not the way it is.
No.
Jason Cowie from Regina asks, how does this filmmaking experience differ from your past efforts, budget, location, crew, etc.?
The crew were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's such a difference to have $2,500 and be running around with a camera to actually having a proper set. And, you know, I enjoyed Dead Hook in a Trunk because it forced us to learn every aspect of filmmaking and, you know, be the people in every position doing it. And, you know, that you need that do-it-yourself kind of experience to be able to creatively problem solve and not be relying on money. But when you have a full crew, it's like you're the Avengers with S.H.I.E.L.D. behind you. It's just fucking phenomenal. And Brad Jubinville, our first AD, was just a godsend. He's had years and years of experience, and he was so brilliant. And, you know, another thing that was amazing about our crew is we would admit if we didn't know something, and we would ask questions.
We were the greenest people on set.
Yeah, we don't have that fucking ego that's like, I'm going to front that I know what I'm doing. I made a $2,500 movie. I don't know what the fuck all of you people are here for. There's a time when we were doing, you know, our crew, and I was like, what do I need 3 ADs for? What the fuck do they even do? And now I know I could have 4 ADs maybe, even if I needed them. But I think every film is a completely new experience. Even if I did another film that was similar to American Mary on the same budget, it would be a completely new experience because the problems that arise are never the ones that you plan for, and they're just way out of fucking left field.
I think the one thing that both films have in common is nobody was there for the money. They were there because they actually cared about what we were doing. And with American Mary, we had 15 days to shoot it. We had a very modest budget. And people would work for free. People would bring things from home. People would work overnight. People would just make it happen. We would steal shots all the time. They actually all cared about it, and they were so brilliant. We surrounded ourselves with people who were the best in the city, and this is Canadian talent. You don't usually get them to be able to showcase their talent like this because there's so many American productions that come in, but we were like, this is our project, this is our talent, let's just really show off. Our production designer, Tony DeVenier, he was so brilliant. I remember he came in for our first meeting and he had lampshades made with x-rays, and he told me, I was thinking about Mary's apartment, and because she's you still know who she is at the beginning, and then afterwards she's so introverted, so what if we have her psyche just splattered on the walls, and there's medicine and everything that inspires her, and then she's in a shitty apartment, right? So what if we make it red, but we make it like bruising on the wall because she's bruised and damaged? She was like, that's what I saw in the script, and that's what you wanted. I was like, no, I didn't think of anything nearly as brilliant as that, but yeah, no, man, that would be fucking awesome. And he's like, and then later it's very stoic, and we have bars like she's in a prison. It's like, yeah, no, just keep being brilliant. Everyone's like, oh, how did you do that? I was like, I had fucking smart people with me making everything look fucking cool, and they're coming back on every single one. Like, we've already harassed them. They're all coming back for the ABCs. We're just...
Oh, so many of them have stayed with us, like Jane Mabbitt of Enigma Arcana. If you see us in cute outfits, she's told us either to wear them or she's made them for us. All of our cosplay outfits, just absolute brilliant. And on fucking Dead Hooker, we had one set of every outfit, and sometimes they got bloody and dirty, and I was just cleaning them, being like, oh, Jesus, please let them fucking get clean.
Yeah.
We should have filmed it all in sequence.
We should have. The end of Hooker was bad because we had to sew my pants onto me because they would rip constantly, because the one person who does all the stunt stuff, my pants just would rip, and so we'd be sewing it on me like, okay, so the cops are coming, someone make up an excuse and say why we're shooting this, sew up my ass, okay, I'm gonna not rip out of it this time. As you do. I know Woody Allen has stories like that. Everyone does.
Well, speaking of the ABCs of death, another one of our loyal long-time listeners, Izzy Lee, the former marketing director at the Viscera Film Festival, asks, so it was recently announced that you guys are going to take part in the ABCs of Death Part 2. Are you directing your own shorts for ABCs of Death 2 or together? And would you ever consider directing on your own?
Do we fuck up this system? Because it's 26 letters for 26 directors. Yeah. Is it going to be 27 letters for directors for 26 letters?
Even though, I think we are, because even though they didn't specify that we have one letter, To be honest, I mean, I think everyone knows with the ABCs of death, you get $5,000 and then you call in a whole bunch of favors. We know the same fucking people. To ask for double the favors is asking for a lot. And with the idea that we have, it's extremely ambitious. And you're going to be seeing Brian Pearson, our DP, coming back, Todd Masters and Masters Effects, Jane Mabbitt of Enigma Arcanum, Bruce McKinnon, our editor, Tony DeVenier, our production designer.
Kevin Mental is
doing the soundtrack. So if they say, oh, you each get a letter, I'll be like, thank you, but no.
I'm useless without
you.
her. I'm essentially completely useless. We're two halves of one thing. I mean, I like you. You're fun to work with.
It's Twisted Twins. What the hell would we do? Twisted Twin? If they forced us to each do a letter, we would do one thing and we'd make it twice as long, and then by the time you reach the other letter, it would just be the continuation and there'd be other versions of deaths, because if we had to split up, it would be just like, I'm not taking that idea, because our idea is fucking smoking.
Oh, would we have to kill the idea?
No, we're just gonna work together and then cry if they say no.
It's like, have you ever watched Bob's Burgers? There's these two identical twin characters on it. And, okay, anyways, so they're putting everybody together in groups, and there's two identical twins, and they're like, oh, and they put them in separate, and they start screaming and crying
and throwing themselves on the ground,
and they're like, no, why? And they're like, no, actually, you guys are together, and they're like, yay, and they hold hands and they walk off. That's me and Jen.
That's exactly us. That's our relationship in just a nutshell. We could work apart, but we're not going to. We don't want to.
Yeah. I don't want to. They gave us 2 hotel rooms. I was like, where's Jen gonna be? I need to have her.
So now we have one in a huge bed.
Yeah. I didn't kick her too much.
Sarah Danger Emery from Vancouver asks, are you ladies looking for some new horror scripts?
No.
The short answer is no. Legally, and this is something that I don't think people realize, I can't even read your thing, because if I read it and anything in one of my scripts even remotely is like it, or you can say that it inspired it, it's a fucking lawsuit and a mess. And I wish I could read every script in the world, but I can't. And the thing about there being 2 of us is we fucking fight over ideas, and we have about 10 scripts finished, even more in between being finished, and 1-line notes of things that we want to do. So it would have to be something that would just fucking blow us away. But
now somebody's gonna think, my script will blow them away.
No, okay,
I'm saying no. Hate everything. Like, there's people I respect so much, and I've read their scripts and I hated them, and they're like, oh well, I guess we're not.
There's people that we've desperately wanted to work with, that we like idolize, and I've read their scripts and been like, can't do it. I don't like it. I just don't fucking like it. There's only one person who we've ever read a script of that we want to do their script.
Yeah.
And that's a comic book adaptation, and we are longtime fans of the comic book. So that was the only exception we've ever done. Not to say don't write, keep writing, write your scripts.
Keep writing. I couldn't make it. I can't even get my movies made. I can't get a movie made, man.
My God, do you know how long it takes us to make a fucking movie?
Forever.
Just go do it. Do it yourself.
CJ Monk actually has a 3-part question. I think the Soskas are the best thing to happen to cinema in an age. Not any age, an age.
That's very sweet.
My questions to them are, what would their dream project, ratings and budget be damned, be?
Oh,
okay.
No.
I want a Deadpool movie.
Deadpool.
I want to make a Deadpool movie. It would be fucking awesome.
It would be so good. It would be rated R. It would be a perfect blend of horror and comedy. And being Canadians, he's like, it's Wolverine and Deadpool, and nobody can take those 2 cool characters away from us. And there's, every other superheroes from America. And I love America, but we've got 2 superheroes.
We got Wolverine, we got Deadpool.
And you know what, to be honest, and I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, Deadpool and Wolverine haven't been very well done in the Wolverine movie.
Oh yeah,
Wolverine
the spin-offs
is like a Spider-Man, a Superman, a Batman. He deserves a great film. And, truth be told, I'm not ecstatic about the Wolverine movie.
I'm excited about the Wolverine XXX.
Axel Braun, one of our favorite superhero directors that makes all the porn
parodies. Xander Corbus is one of my favorite Spider-Man, so
we're looking forward to that. But I thought Ryan Reynolds was awesome as Deadpool, but whatever they did with him at the end and the execution was just shit. You should have taken beautiful Ryan Reynolds and done prosthetics all over him and just had him play it like that. Because he likes the character. He would have been fine. Deadpool deserves to be a good movie, and it would be a fucking high-action gore-fest movie, and I want to do it, and please let me. Thank you.
Good audition, Jen.
Marvel's obviously listening right now.
Soska, action figures, when?
How do you know?
How do you know?
How did you know that? I'm not allowed to say anything, so I don't know.
Also, when we put a question up, a hypothetical question of, if we were making action figures, what outfits would you like to see us in? And we had a list of responses. That's gone very close to heart to what we're going to be doing.
If we did one.
If we're
not
doing
that
them.
we did one, but
Not
if we
that we're
did,
doing them,
maybe
but
it
if
would
we
be in
did.
its underwear and you get a bunch of different outfits.
Maybe you would have limited edition outfits.
Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not sure.
That would be an idea.
Jen and Sylvia's take on fashion is both awesome and sexy. Will we see a Soska fashion line at some point?
I
would love both.
I wear Enigma Arcana. I would love her to do a line with us because she's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
We're talking about doing. Oh wait, we can't even say that. You know, CJ Monk, it's very suspicious the things that I've only talked to with a few people that you know that are going on or have suspicions are going on because they're not going on. It's not like we're just making a giant franchise of things.
It's not like we're going to be releasing a line of Twisted Twins things sometime
Do you know
this year.
CJ Monk?
No, I don't.
Is
I do.
one
We're
of you
Facebook
posing
friends.
as CJ Monk to make sure that
I'm
we
CJ
cover
Monk.
this stuff in the
Just rip off my face.
We're Facebook friends, but I don't know CJ.
Not personally, and oh my god, yeah. We would
Maybe great minds think alike.
Absolutely. It would go through Enigma Arcana, who is like, they create clothes just for us. I mean, it is the line, and we are very conscious about extending more things for people to buy, and I know that our website is busted. I'm sorry, but there's
It's just
things
out
are
of
in
date.
process.
We're getting a new one.
There are things happening in action.
All right, our final question comes from Jay Winger, the horror host from Horror in the Hammer from Hamilton, Ontario. He says, I broke up with Mary. How do I get over here?
You don't. You don't.
There's just that one. I mean, there's someone that you always think about, when you stare off or you're sitting alone at a bar drinking copious amounts of Jack Daniels. That'll always be Mary. And will you ever see Mary in another form? I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to say that what happened to Mary was that point of her life. Maybe we'll show you other points of her life. And then some. But, we're slaves to our fans. If you want something and you bitch about it enough, I'll always give it to you. Yeah.
If you can't say that, what if there's some ridiculously weird things that could be asked of us now?
Like what?
You already see the fan mail.
No, we've already agreed that we'd eat human flesh if offered to us.
Yeah.
It's not just us. Alex Strandon, the director of Inbred,
yeah.
also.
We all decided if it was like on the menu and they were like, oh, do you want
We're
to
all
eat some
super
human?
casual about it. It wasn't even like a thing. And also we all decided we'd sit in on an exorcism if given the chance.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much for dropping by. I wasn't expecting you guys to show up at Nocturne in your summery little outfits, but they do look lovely.
We were thinking it would pop against the black.
Delightful as always, girls. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
And thank you for listening, watching.